Okay, let's talk about vector addition. So here I have two vectors. I have the vector A, which has an x component of 1, a y component of 3, and the vector B, which has a x component of 2 and a y component of 1. And I'm just going to draw these two vectors. So our first vector A, I'll start it at the origin, and that's a vector. We go 1 unit in the x direction and 3 units in the y, so we end up with a vector which looks like that. I'm just going to clean this up a bit. There we go. So there is our vector A. We'll just label that. Alright, now we have a vector B. B, we have an x component of 2 and a y component of 1. And I could draw that at the origin, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw that vector right where A ends. So that's right at this point right there. So I'll draw that in purple, and we go 2 in the x direction, and then we go 1 in the y, and we get a vector starting where A left off and going to this point right there. So if we look at that, we're going 2 units in the x direction and 1 unit in the y direction. For our blue vector A, we go 1 direction in the x direction and 3 upwards. Okay, again, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let's draw that A vector. We'll draw the label over here. A, and we'll label B. Oh. This is B. Okay, so the result of A plus B, at least graphically, is the connection between where we started A and where B finishes. So it's this vector right like that. So that is our vector A plus B. If you notice, this vector has an x component of 4 and a y component of an x component of 3 and a y component of 4. So let's see how we can do this with some numbers. So again, we want to compute A plus B. Well, this is just equal to A, which is 1 and 3, plus B, which is 2 and 1. And all we do is we add components together. So we add like components together. So we add the two x components together. So that gives us, let's see here, 1 plus 2 is 3. I'm going to draw that in this color. And the 3 and 1 give us 4. And that's what we noticed here. We back in the diagram, we had an x component of 3 and a y component of 4. Alright, so that is the vector. That is the vector A plus B. Now, what's interesting is we could also add them in a different order. We could first add B. We can start with B and add A. And it's the same operations. We still add like components. So you end up with the same vector, because 3 plus 2 is 1 plus 2 is still 3, and 3 plus 1 is still 4. So it doesn't matter what which of these you add first. The other thing, it doesn't matter where we start A. We could have started A anywhere. Instead of starting A at the origin, we could have started A over here or A over here. The point is, the result is still a vector in the same direction. You're still going to have a vector A plus B, which is 3 in the x direction and 4 in the y direction. So I could easily draw this somewhere else. So let's draw the two vectors. We'll start A over here. So A, we go is a vector that looks like that, and B is a vector which is 2 and 1, like that. And the result, A plus B, is this vector here. Notice it's parallel to the other A plus B we drew because these two vectors are equivalent. They're the same vector. And this is true no matter what. You can go ahead and try to draw this somewhere else, like here or down here or over here, and you'll still get a vector A plus B which is pointing in that same direction. And one thing I should note, you can also subtract vectors. When you subtract vectors, let's say we wanted to draw A minus B. Well, A minus B we can write as A plus negative B. Now, what happens is we start with A, and B, if we multiply B by a negative sign, we just multiply that negative sign to each coordinate. So we get minus 2 and minus 1. And so the result of A plus minus B is, we add components. We add 1 plus negative 2, which is negative 1. And we have 3 minus 1, which is 2. Okay, so how does that look in this picture? So again, let's start with a vector A. So A, we go up 1, across 1 and up 3, and negative B is the following vector. Negative B is the vector where we go down 1 and across to the left 2. So it's this way. So the vector A minus B, again I'll pick a different color for that. Let's choose red, is this vector. So that I'll label as A minus B. That is this vector here. Notice we go minus 1 in the x direction and up 2 in the y direction. Okay, this is our intro to vector addition.